So what names can we come up with for Stomping Grounds besides Stomping Grounds for our cold open?
Stomp the Yard.
A-Town Stomp. No, do the A-Town Stomp.
WWE presents Kirk Franklin Stomp. WWE Stomp the Devil Out.
See, I was about to say WWE presents Stomp on the Devil's Neck.
That's another one. I don't know.
WWE presents Stomp Out the Patriarchy. WWE presents. Ooh. What's going on, everybody? This is Jay the Creative.
I am the infamous Angelo.
And this is Culture 316, where we push the culture and conversation of professional wrestling into the 21st century. Now, we weren't with you last week. We apologize for that, but we are here this week, and we do have a lot to talk about. So first and foremost, we want to send our condolences and prayers to the family of Andrade Cien Almas.
Oh, yeah.
His mother passed away on the day of WWE Super Showdown, and shortly thereafter, his aunt actually passed away. So we want to send our condolences to that family and to him. That's definitely like a heart-wrenching, difficult moment.
2 people within like
a week.
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
That's crazy. So thoughts and prayers to him and his family. I think our first piece of news is that so there is this thing around the internet that was going around of Cardi B, and there was a meme that said, why does Cardi look like she rapping in the SmackDown GM office? And she said,
hilarious.
And then she said, I lie, I cheat, I steal, which is an Eddie Guerrero reference. And Cardi went on to say that she was a fan of WWE growing up, and that her favorites included Triple H, Batista, Booker T, Lita, Edge, The Undertaker, Kane, and the late Eddie Guerrero. So, like, what are your impressions of, like, her favorite wrestlers? Because that's actually a really impressive list.
That's like the best of the early 2000s.
Literally, like the best of the early 2000s.
Like, because Cardi is what, 24, 25?
She's like around, she's like my age.
Yeah,
22, 24.
Yeah, I'm 22 in September.
Right.
Cardi is what, like 3 or 4 years older than me. She's not that much older than me.
Right.
That's like, Cardi was what, like 8 or 9 at this point?
Right.
Like, everybody grew up watching wrestling.
Absolutely.
Except for me. Because I was, a Disney kid, but whatever.
Radio Disney.
Shut up. Everybody, everybody watched wrestling growing up, at least a little bit. You know, I started watching wrestling when, I was about 10 when I started watching wrestling. But everybody starts around like 8, 9, 7, whatever. And, that's like perfect. And then, WWE had to ruin it and go, Carmela and Cardi B, maybe a tag team match at SummerSlam. That is something I don't want to see. Like, I'm okay.
That would be hilarious.
It would be funny. It'd be cool to have her on the show. Just to be like, like a nice little celebrity appearance. She'd get booed out of the building. But it'd be cute. Remember when they used to have special celebrity guests? Not the guest host period, but like I know there was a period where they just had celebrity guests in
guest GMs.
No, not the guest GM thing. It was the guest. Maybe it was guest host, but it wasn't like the guest GM period, because this was around the time the Authority was in play. Because I remember that they had a couple of reality TV stars on there. I remember they had Nene Leakes on there, some other people. Like, I just remember. Yeah, I just know that because
that's actually mad funny.
Yeah,
but I also, when I saw this kind of brings this to mind, just kind of like not just that everybody watched wrestling when there was a fan, but there's always been this heavy connection between wrestling and hip hop.
Always.
And like whether we're talking about Wale and like the thing that he does with Wale Mania every WrestleMania weekend and his fandom for wrestling.
John Cena's rap album. John Cena's WWE Championship as the cover.
I still have that album. I'm pretty sure that all of it slaps to this day. Who else? The RZA and his connection to Batista.
Yeah.
Offset, obviously Ric Flair. So obviously there is a connection between hip hop and wrestling, and I think the two kind of go hand in hand.
For a long period of time, the theme songs were like
hip hop
song, like hip hop, like the hip hop rock crossover songs with like people, guys like Lil Wayne, and even I think Kanye. No, maybe not Kanye, but people like that. Like they did a lot of crossover songs for the themes of WrestleMania.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. There's always been a big with hip hop and WWE and wrestling period.
But moving on from that, we're gonna go into some more juicy stuff because
baby, yeah. I have some stuff to say.
So, for those of you who are not aware of the independent wrestling scene or just wrestling outside of WWE, there is a promotion called Impact Wrestling, which is formerly known as Total Nonstop Action, and they recently had an event called Code Red in New York City. I think it was at the Melrose Ballroom. But at said event, Taya Valkyrie was, I believe, ringside for a match, or she was in a match and got into a little altercation with a fan, which led to the fan actually spitting on her, calling her names, and people in the building that were there that night that were aware of the guy said that he was being disrespectful the entire night, and that people kind of felt uncomfortable. So I just want to know your take on this first, and then I'll go off.
So this follows a situation that happened at a Ring of Honor show. Mm-hmm. I don't remember where it was. Quite frankly, don't care. That follows, Bully Ray. Thou who shall not be named, because I'm blocked on Twitter for calling him exactly what he is. And some fan, I guess he was heckling the Allure. Mm-hmm. The stupid new faction, whatever. I was about to call him a fraction. Stupid new faction with the women in Ring of Honor, Women of Honor, or whatever. And I guess, wrestling culture has always been, you're a heel, you get booed and heckled, and people say, oh, F you, we don't like you, but it's just because I'm behind the barricade.
Right.
I'm being a fan. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, these are two completely separate situations. I'm going to say that. But I just wanted to say that this followed a situation where this guy apparently insulted, what's the name of Fat Boy's girlfriend?
Wife Velvet Sky.
Velvet's trash. So I guess the fan said something to Trash, and long story short, Ring of Honor security comes, grabs fan, brings him to the back, and Fat Boy tries to, Fat Albert over here, the white version, tries to, what's the word? I'm trying to find the word.
What? I don't know. You're the one that brought up the story.
Whatever. So he tries to intimidate. There we go. He tries to intimidate him. Tries to make him feel small. Tries to do whatever. It became a whole big thing on Twitter. Now this situation pops up. I want to say 2 weeks, 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And you have this situation now where this fan basically is, heckling these women or whatnot, and goes and puts his lips in a position and coughs up and hacks up, fluids, and it comes out of his mouth and it hits her. Let me explain something to everybody. Every time this comes up, I will say this for the rest of my life. If you spit on me, you better have life insurance. You better have life insurance. You better make sure that your will has been written out.
You better be saved.
You better be saved, sanctified, and Holy Ghost fueled, because I promise you, I'm going to jail, and you will not be leaving in an ambulance. You'll be leaving in a body bag. So the fact that being a fan can go but so far.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And on top of that, let's just be very, very clear. There is a difference between being a fan and being disrespectful.
Right.
And I think that there definitely needs to be a line that is drawn, because when you're a fan, boo, you can't wrestle, you suck, boo, you're trash. That's fine. Calling somebody out of their name in a very, very disrespectful racial or sexist slur is not you being a fan. It's you being disrespectful and ignorant. And you are now creating an unsafe, hostile environment that is detrimental to the workers and to the fans. Because things like this are what keep away other people besides white men from wrestling.
Not only that, right? But you spit on her. And there were people defending his actions.
Oh, that was insane. Like there is no justification for spitting on anybody.
I don't care.
Let alone a woman, let alone a wrestler.
I don't care if we're like this and we're going at it for real, for real. Why would you think that it's okay to spit on somebody? Like, that is the lowest form of disrespect
that you can get.
That you can get. Like, are you kidding me? It was Taya Valkyrie, right?
Yeah, Taya Valkyrie.
I'm just, I applaud Taya Valkyrie for not reacting the way that she really could have.
Yeah.
Because
she could have mollywopped him.
If it was me, I don't work for Impact anymore. You get what I'm saying?
Could have mollywopped him.
That's it. Like, you're dead. So I applaud her for not reacting in a crazy way. But I can't help but feel like this fan was trying to do the same thing fan over here was trying to do, and maybe flip the story and try to make it seem like, maybe try to get backstage at an Impact show or something like that. I don't know. I just feel like
either way, it's just a sucker move. Like,
right.
That's just something that you don't do.
And you're in the year of 2019 where the line between wrestling, real, fake, whatever, there's no line anymore. Everybody knows what wrestling is and what it isn't.
Absolutely.
But, to be, there, again, like you said, there's the difference between being a fan, me being a fan of you, doesn't mean that I'm going to disrespect you.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean that I'm going to spit on you. Doesn't mean that I'm going to actively try and grab you while there's a match going on. I don't know if you saw that thing with Scarlett Bordeaux.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that's out of line at AAA. I forgot the name of the promotion. AAA, however it's pronounced. There was a fan that was groping Scarlett Bordeaux, and let me just say this: just because somebody wears something does not give you permission to approach or touch anybody in that manner. Period.
In 2019, you think you would?
You think you would get the gist? You think you should be able to know this, but some people really don't, and that's the thing that's kind of like, it's not shocking, but it is disappointing.
Exactly. So all I honestly have to say is, please, wrestling fans, people already look at us like we're losers.
Just think before you do. But then again, some of y'all
not even that.
Some of y'all really do be thinking.
Yes, think before you do, but also exactly, some of you guys just think that what you're doing is okay. So people already think that we're losers. And in an unrelated note, shout out to Love and Hip Hop for winning winning Best Reality Show at the MTV Movie Awards. Listen, Love and Hip Hop. Did y'all see the cast of Jersey Shore? I was like, listen, I love Jersey Shore, and they was tired. I was like, but sis, shh. Okay, that's all I have to say.
But anyway, so back to the show at hand. This is great. Former WWE superstar and TNA wrestler Brodus Clay was accused of sexual harassment. The report was filed by co-host Britt McHenry, and she stated that the former WWE superstar had sent inappropriate text messages to her. They actually co-host a show, I believe, that is called Nuff Said.
Somebody call the cops.
Somebody call my lawyer. Since then, it's been said that she has been relocated as far as shows are concerned, and she's now assigned to a different show. But I just wanted your take on...
was he taken off shows?
Huh?
Was he taken off the shows?
I don't know.
Because I'm just like, what?
I don't know if he was or wasn't.
Okay.
But like, I just wanted your take and your opinion on Brodus Clay's sexual harassment incident, and if you feel sorry for him.
No. I don't feel sorry for people who do stuff like that. Like, I mean, if it's wrong, if it was a false accusation, then, I mean...
Run his check.
Yeah, run him his money, run him his check, and tell little sis that she's fired.
Right.
But if it's the truth, then I don't feel sorry for him. I'm sorry you're fired. I'm sorry nobody likes you anyway. And you're a dub. You're a dub out here in these streets. Like, go to jail. Goodbye.
I think it's just funny because he came on Fox around the time of the Trayvon Martin incident and kind of denounced, minimized the significance of, and made a mockery of the Black Lives Matter movement. He said that the majority of the videos that were posted online came down to compliance and resistance, and that the people who were in these videos resisted and therefore deserved the punishment that they had received. This was from years ago.
This is when did Trayvon situation? 2012, right?
2013. No, this is like either Trayvon or Mike Brown or one of those cases. Said explicitly like that it comes down to resistance versus compliance, and it's just about using common sense. So this idea of promoting or being some type of advocate of civility and then turning around and sexually harassing your co-host, that's not a good look, bro.
Oh, well, in that case, put him under the jail.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah.
Put him... Goodbye.
So, I mean, it's a very interesting case. Karma is funny, isn't it?
Ooh, the Lord, see,
Karma's funny.
You be trying to dodge the hand of God, and the hand of God just comes right back around
and slaps you.
Okay.
But yeah, like that's kind of been the move, and it's very interesting to say the least. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I feel like he deserves the punishment that he's going to get. I hope that they deal with him accordingly. But yeah, that's how I felt about former WWE superstar Brodus Clay. Now, moving on from that, speaking of former WWE superstars, Shawn Spears, formerly known as Ty Dillinger, has officially signed with All Elite Wrestling. He debuted at Double or Nothing, but he was not officially under an AEW contract. But I just want to ask, do you believe that this is a good signing for the company?
Yeah. I mean, Ty Dillinger was really over. Remember, I flew out of the seat over here when he came out as number 10
at the Royal Rumble.
At the Rumble all those years ago. So, no, I think Ty Dillinger or Shawn Spears or whatever he's going to go by. I think it was a great acquisition for the company. I definitely think that they're not yet, but if they sign a lot more like former WWE talent, they're gonna be teetering on dangerous
ground, yeah,
waters, and we don't want that.
We don't want it at all.
We don't, Impact had another LOL TNA situation a couple weeks ago.
Well, Impact, that's a whole other thing. They're reporting very, 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 very low numbers, and yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah. But it's.
I just wanted to say because a couple weeks ago I spoke about the other LOL TNA moment.
LOL Impact moment.
Yeah, this past one was, I think the last one was they went to commercial, never came back, and this one was they played the wrong episode. So rather than playing next week's last week's episode came on, okay, this week's episode, rather than playing this week's episode, I believe they played last week's all over again.
Yeah.
So it was just funny, LOL.
Jesus Christ. Well, pray for TNA. And speaking of AEW, Turner Media and All Elite Wrestling announced that AEW's Fyter Fest will be streaming live on Bleacher Report Live for free $99. Do you think that this is I think that AEW is kind of in this position to try to position themselves to be more available to the public? Obviously, because it was a pay-per-view and they haven't had any TV shows, you can't really just kind of go on a Monday or Tuesday or whatever type of night and just watch All Elite Wrestling. But do you think that this puts them in a better position to be exposed to the mainstream public?
I definitely think that this puts them in a much better position. I feel like with them, showing this for free, it's kind of like how WWE shows their pre-shows for free on YouTube and stuff like that. Just to give you a precursor of what the show is going to be like, you know? And I feel like, Double or Nothing was their, big
inaugural pay-per-view.
You know, this. If we were gonna call All In or All Out their WrestleMania, you know, we can call Double or Nothing their Wrestling Superstars. Which, if you don't know, that was the first ever WWE pay-per-view.
That's very true. Yeah.
I know my stuff. But I'm just saying, like, you know, we can call, you know, Fyter Fest is probably like that. Okay, here's like just a taste of what
we can offer.
What's the name of their show? Did they say what the name of their weekly show is going to be?
No, they haven't announced those details yet.
Okay, yeah. So this is like just a precursor of what our weekly show is going to be like,
and a preview of what All Out could be. Because I mean, All Out, they released tickets for it. They sold out within 15 minutes, and apparently there was like a demand of about 137,000 tickets, which is insane. The fact that their second big pay-per-view has more of a demand on the product than WrestleMania, that's big.
Dude, what's so crazy to me is that obviously I wasn't going to buy tickets because I can't go.
Right.
But, you know, it would have been cool to be able to go, right? Next time, make these shows closer to my birthday.
Yes.
Thanks. But, you know, I think what's really cool about this is, like you said, 137,000 tickets were like, you know, people, there were 137,000 people in queue, you know, for tickets.
Right.
This queue thing kind of reminded me of the nightmares I had trying to get tickets for Avengers Endgame. It was just like, it was a nightmare. I'm pretty sure there are people who are pissed.
Super pissed. Super
and
big
now
mad.
have to spend $500 a ticket
just
on
thing. Because of these scalpers.
When is All Out? All Out's the 31st, right?
All Out is on August 31st.
August 31st.
There's already been matches announced for it.
Something.
We have Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega. We have Hangman Page versus Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship. They also announced that they will be unveiling the AEW World Women's Championship within the future. So that's pretty exciting as well. So overall, I'm just looking forward to what AEW is offering. It seems like they are on track to being the healthy alternative that they promote. Now, outside of that, we are now going to give our predictions to WWE Stomp.
The Yard.
Stomp on the Devil's Neck. And so we're not going to give a lot of explanation for it because...
Yeah. WWE Stomping Grounds.
So
Tacoma,
starting with the
Washington,
first
this Sunday.
Starting with the first match for the Cruiserweight Championship, we have Tony Nese versus...
I was trying to give it a cute introduction.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's all right.
No, keep going.
I was trying to give it a cute introduction. He was like, anyway, I'm just like, oh, okay. So
all right, bet.
This pay-per-view's not cute. Anyway, it's fine.
Yeah. All right, so for the Cruiserweight title, we have a triple threat. We have Tony Nese versus Drew Gulak versus Akira Tozawa. Tony Nese is the champion, is the Cruiserweight champion.
Okay, a retention. Tony Nese.
Retaining, I'm going to go with the same. New Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
This is a match?
Yeah, this is a match.
I don't watch Raw and SmackDown. I'm sorry. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Whoever you pick, I pick.
All right, so New Day. SmackDown Tag Team titles, Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus Heavy Machinery.
Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
I'm going to go with Heavy Machinery. They need some faces on that title. And for the U.S. title, we have Samoa Joe versus Ricochet.
Joe?
I'm going to go with Ricochet. And in the next match, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
I really could not possibly care less about this match.
I'm going to go Drew McIntyre.
I'm going to go Roman because it's just like whatever.
I feel like, well, I'm not even going to get into how I feel. Roman Reigns. I love Roman. But SmackDown Women's title, Bayley versus Alexa. By the way, they had a great SmackDown segment this past week.
I have nightmares from Bayley versus Alexa. With that being said, I am going to go with Bayley. My heart says Bayley. My head says Alexa Bliss.
I'm going to go with Bayley as well. Now we have Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans. Becky.
Lacey Evans. There's no other reason they're giving us this match again for the second time for no reason. And
we have Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin for the Universal title with a special guest referee that has not been announced. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins. Same. And now we have Kofi versus Dolph for the steel cage match for the WWE title.
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph?
Yeah, okay, because they're going to pull the trigger on Dolph Ziggler now, today.
I'm going to do Kofi. I'm going to go Kofi.
Yeah, I'm going with Kofi Kingston too.
But if you guys feel any differently about our predictions, be sure to comment below. Tell us what you think.
This was a speed round.
This is definitely a speed round. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I was going to bring something else up, but I forgot what it was.
I think we covered everything.
How do you feel about these title reigns so far? We don't have to go like super into it, but how do you feel about them?
About whose title reign?
The world. Well, Seth, particularly Seth and Becky.
I feel like when it comes to the title reigns, I feel like one of the things that I learned about wrestling and wrestling psychology is this simple philosophy: faces chase, heels keep.
Yeah.
Which means that the job or the thrill in a face being a champion is the pursuit of the championship, whereas the thrill of a heel being a championship is the reign of the title, his reign of the title. I feel like once Seth got the title, I don't think that he has had a boring reign. However, I do feel like the thrill of him being Universal Champion was him beating Brock.
Yeah.
Just like I feel like the thrill of Becky being the women's or dual women's champion was her beating Charlotte and Ronda.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that philosophy of faces chase and heels keep is definitely applicable to this, because I feel like the reigns are good. I feel like heels definitely raise the prestige of a title, and they definitely make the title better. So that's how I feel about the reign so far.
Honestly, like, I feel like, and my favorite wrestling podcaster, the Solid Monster, said it best. If Becky Lynch is Batman and Batman can live without his Joker, then Becky Lynch is Batman and Ronda Rousey is Joker.
Right.
Because, without Ronda, I feel like it's just Becky has just kind of been, I don't want to say boring. Like, she hasn't been boring, but it's just like, yeah, I'm not that interested, And Seth, honestly, like, I feel like, Seth is missing that fire.
Yeah.
That made me really like him.
Absolutely.
Like, even when he first turned babyface.
There was something like
last year.
Yeah.
But I've never been like the biggest fan of Seth as a wrestler. Like, I like Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins is really dope. I feel like he has great matches. But I feel like Seth's one of those wrestlers where you're either gonna have a really, really great match with Seth Rollins, or you're gonna have a really great match with Seth Rollins that's the same exact match with Seth Rollins.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there was a period of time in 2018 where he was really just going through the motions, and all of his matches were exactly the same. Just like how I felt about, Jennifer Lawrence in Dark Phoenix, which if you missed my Dark Phoenix review, go listen on Apple Podcasts, Heroes Inc. Podcast. But, it was just like, I felt like it was phoned in. So, honestly, I haven't been watching the product, so I can't really tell you, his reign has been boring, but they haven't really been giving him much to do. And the same with Becky Lynch. Becky has been fighting the same person for 2 months. Nobody wants to see him fight Lacey Evans anymore. Fight Lacey Evans.
I love the 24/7 championship because I love R-Truth. He's a national.
I feel like they're gonna make him a 17-time champion.
He's a 6-time champion right now.
They're gonna make him a 17-time champion just to be like, or a 16-time champion just to be like, oh yeah, I'm like my idol John Cena.
That would be.
That is gonna be great.
But anyway, I think that concludes this week's show.
I think so too. I'm sorry, Captain America's on in the other room. I'm very distracted.
I feel that, and hopefully you guys can tune in next week. We're gonna be talking about a lot more. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.